On to task number 5. We're going to implement the load balancers in task number 5 and 6. So we'll start with implementing Azure Load Balancer under task 5. And remember, Azure Load Balancer is the one that operates at layer 4. So in this task, you will implement an Azure Load Balancer in front of the 2 Azure virtual machines in the hub virtual network. In the Azure portal, we need to search for load balancers and create a new one. So once we click create, we need to go into the front-end IP configuration tab and just make this configuration. So let's get there. I'll search for load balancers. I'll click on this one that comes up, load balancers. Then right here you can even see that we have a number of load balancers. So we have the application gateway we should be creating shortly. We have the front door and content delivery network profiles. We have traffic manager, but we'll just be covering the 2 load balancer and application gateway. So I'll click on create right here. Then I'll just copy the name of this load balancer in the meantime. So the resource group is going to be resource group 1, as actually resource group 4. So let's see if we need to create a new one. Yeah, we need to create a new one. So let me just copy this resource group because we don't have resource group number 4. So I'll just copy that and paste it there. I'll click OK. Name of this instance, load balancer instance, is going to be that LB4. Then region, be careful on that as well. So I'm just using the same region, Brazil South. Then the SKU is gonna be standard, and type is gonna be public. Tier is gonna be regional. So standard, type is gonna be public, and tier is gonna be regional. So just to try to explain some few things, SKU, or you can think of the SKU is just a storage keeping unit, and these are like the available it's just a way of keeping record on what kind of load balancers are there. So we have standard, basic, and basic so far. Then as for the type, it's going to be a public load balancer because we are going to issue it with the public IP address. Internal load balancers will make use of private IP address, and basically that's the difference between the two. Then tier is going to be a regional load balancer, so meaning it will only be able to operate on a regional level and not really a global level. So I'll click on next, front-end IP configuration. And as for the front-end IP configuration, we need to click on add a front-end IP configuration with the following settings. So I'll just copy this name, copy that. So a front-end IP configuration is an IP address used for inbound and or outbound communication as defined within load balancing, inbound out and outbound rules. So we need to add a front-end IP configuration. So the name of this front-end IP configuration is going to be that AZ-104-06-FE4. Then IP version, I'm sure you're going to be using IP version 4. Then public IP address is going to be we are going to create a new one. Gateway load balancer, none. So leave it selected as IP version 4 because we've been working with the version 4. Then IP type is going to be IP address. Yeah. Then public IP, we don't have any. We'll need to click on create new. So let's see on the add a public IP address. So we're going to name it this way. I'm going to name it AZ-104-06 PIP4. PIP is just it's like an acronym for public IP. I'll just copy that, paste in the name there. Then I'll scroll down. I'll leave everything else as default. Let me see if there's anything there. So SKU standard, T is going to be regional, assignment starting. Routing preference is going to be Microsoft So that's the default configuration that's here. I'll just click on OK. Then as for the load balancer front-end IP configuration, we need to select under gateway load balancer, we need to select none. So begin on that. It seems to be the only option after all. Then we'll click on add. After that, we need to click on next backend pools, and backend pools is now just what is there behind the load balancer. Where is this traffic going to be distributed? So front end is where the traffic is coming from. Then as for the backend pool, we need to add a new pool with the following details. So name is gonna be AZ-104-106-LB4-BE1. So I'll just copy that name. I'll click on add backend. Backend pool name is gonna be that, the name I just copied. Let's see the virtual network. Virtual network is gonna be VNet1. So let me see, just copy it just in case, but it should be here. So VNet1, I'll select that. Then backend pool configuration is gonna be NIC. IP version is gonna be IP version 4. Then click add to add a virtual machine. So IP configuration, we need to click on add. Just to go through this, IP configurations associated to virtual machines and virtual machine cases must be in the same location as the load balancer and be in the same virtual network. So that's just a note for you. So we click on add to add a virtual machine. Let's see what virtual machines are there. So we need to check the box for VM0 and VM1. So we select that and that and click add. So we've added the two VMs, VM0 and VM1. Remember, they are within VNet1. And then we need to click on save at this point. So I'll just click on save right here. Then we need to go on to the next inbound rules. And under inbound rules, we'll also need to add a rule there. The name is going to be this, AZ-104-LB4-LB rule 1. So I'll just copy that. Click on should be add, just a moment. Yeah, it should be add a load balancing rule. So this is it. So paste the name there, the load balancer load balancing rule. Then protocol, before we get to protocol, IP version is gonna be IPv4. Then the front-end IP address is gonna be that. Let's just make that change. Front-end IP address is gonna be this one. Then as for the backend IP, backend pool is gonna be this. Then protocol is gonna be TCP. Port is gonna be 8080 still. So protocols TCP port, we're going to select to input port 80 there. Backend port is going to be port 80 as well. Then the help probe, we'll need to create a new help probe. So just click on create new. See the help probe name. Name of the help probe is going to be AZ-104-06-LB4-HP1 for help probe 1. So we'll just click on create new. I'll paste in the name. It's going to be using TCP on port 80 and interval seems okay. I'll just click on save. Then next is on session persistence. We need to select none. So this is it, session persistence. We need to select none. Then the idle timeout is going to be 4 minutes. That's okay. TCP reset is gonna be disabled. Floating IP is gonna be disabled. So that's it. Defaultly they are both disabled. So don't check the boxes, because once you check the box, that will mean you're enabling them. Then urban source network address translation, that's gonna remain as recommended, so leave it as default. Then we click on save. As you have time, review the other tabs in the review and create, so you can review these other tabs, the urban rule, and yeah, you can just review this urban rule. I think that's the only one remaining, so at this point we can just review and create. I'll click on create. So I'll just wait for the deployment to complete. So the deployment is complete. Now we can just click on go to resource. It will take us directly to the load balancer, and we need to go to the front end IP configuration to get the public IP address, which is facing the front side of the, kind of like facing the front side of the load balancer. So I'll just copy this IP address, then open another browser tab and navigate to the IP address. So verify that the browser window displays the message hello world from AZ-104 VM0 or hello world from AZ-104 VM1. So I'll just okay, I'll open a new tab, then I'll paste in the IP address, click enter. So it says here connection to that is not secure. I'll click on continue, and you can see the message right here, hello world from AZ VM0. So refresh the window to verify the message changes to other virtual machine. So I'll just paste in the code, the address once again. I'll refresh it, and it seems like it's not changing. So I'll just try to, because ideally it says the load balancer should be distributing this traffic evenly. So at a point it should be getting a response from VM0, then maybe after some few refreshing it should be getting from VM1, but that seems not to be working in my case. Anyway, so it says here you may need to refresh more than once or open a new browser window in private mode. So let me just try that. Open it in private mode, Control Shift New, then I'll paste in. So you can see that we're getting now from VM1, a response from VM1. The other one was from VM0. So I'll just close out of that. Then we need to implement Azure Application Gateway as the next load balancer. In this task, you will implement an Azure Application Gateway in front of the two Azure virtual machines in the Spoke virtual networks. So in the Azure portal, we need to search for virtual networks. Then on the virtual networks blade, in the list of virtual networks, click AZ-104 VNet 0. So let's just get there. I'll search for VNets at the top here. So I'll select VNet. Then VNet 1. I think, yeah, we need to select VNet 1. So I'll select VNet 1. I'll push that to the left so that I can have a full view. Then on VNet 1 virtual network blade, in the settings section, click subnets and then click add subnet. So in the settings section, then in the subnets, this is subnets, we need to add another subnet. I'll just copy the details of the subnet. So the subnet name is going to be subnet hyphen app GW. So I'll copy that, and this is going to be the subnet of the application gateway, so I'll just paste that. Then the subnet address range is going to be 10.60.3.224.7. So I'll just backspace on that and paste in that. Then next we need to click on save. Note, this subnet will be used by the Azure Application Gateway instance, which you will deploy later in this task. The application gateway requires a dedicated subnet of AZ-104 or larger. So you can use something like AZ-104 or AZ-106 or 25 going upwards, but not anything less of 27. So we need to just click on save at this point, since there's no other configuration to be made. Then in the Azure portal, search and select application gateways, and on the application gateways blade, click create. So I just need to search for application gateway, and this is it. Okay, we're here, so I'll click on create. Then we need to, of course, select our resource group. Actually, we'll be creating a new resource group, RG5. Then the application gateway name is going to be app GW5. So create a new resource group. That is after you selected your subscription. Application gateway name AZ-104 ... So just copy that and paste it here. Region is going to be that. Then T is going to be standard v2. So that's okay, standard v2. Then enable auto scaling, that's going to be a no. Instance count is going to be 2. So we need to uncheck that. Enable auto scaling, make sure it's no. Instance count is going to be 2. Availability zone is going to be none. That's okay. Then virtual network is going to be VNet 1, because that's where the application gateway is going to be deployed in. Then the subnet is going to be that subnet app, the one that we just from creating. So virtual network, let's select from this drop down VNet 1. Then the subnet should be here as well. So yeah, it's automatically chosen for us. So next, front end, let's see if we have to make anything there. Yeah, we have some configurations to make there. Front end IP is going to be a public IP. Public IP address is going to be add new. Then the name of the instance of the public IP instance is going to be that. So I'll just copy this name, PIP5. We need to make sure that front end IP is selected as public, because this application gateway is going to be facing the public internet as well. Then the public IP, we need to create a new one, so I'll just press in. Then everything else will remain as default. I'll click OK. And then as for the click backend, we need to add a backend pool and specify the following configuration. So the name of the backend pool is going to be this AZ ... So I'll just copy that. I'll click on next backends. We need to add a backend pool. I'll paste the name of the backend pool there. Then add backend pool without targets, I will say no, because we have targets. So targets are just like the endpoints that are sitting behind that load balancer. So this could be something like a virtual machine, like in our case here. So make sure that's enabled to no. Then the IP, we just copy these two IP addresses, because these are the IP addresses of the two VMs in the two subnets. So that's subnet 2 and subnet 3. So target type is gonna be FQDN. I'll just paste in the IP address there. Then copy this second IP address, copy, then paste it here, and that should do. So we'll click on add. Then note the targets represent private IP address of virtual machines in the Spoke virtual networks. VM2 virtual net, so that's gonna be VM2 and VM3, like I said. Next, under configurations, we need to add the routing rule, and the rule name is gonna be this. Just copy that. I'll click on next under configuration. Then we need to add on to add a routing rule. So if you read here, it says configure routing rule to send traffic from a given front-end IP address to one or more backend targets. A routing rule must contain a listener and at least one backend target. No wonder it's in between the two. So we have front-end IPs on the left, then backend pools on the right. So it's like these routing rules are one thing that tie these two together. So we just need to click on that. I'll paste in the routing rule name. Then priority is gonna be 10. Listener name is gonna be that. I'll just copy the listener name. Priority, I'll input 10. Listener name is gonna be that. Then front-end IP, I think that's a public. Protocol is gonna be HTTP. Port is gonna be 80. Listener is gonna be basic. Public HTTP. Port is gonna be 80. Listener type is gonna be basic. That's okay. And error page URL is gonna be no. Let's see where that is. So we I think this is the option where you can configure the error page URL, but we don't have to set it up. So click on show more status code. We don't have to set this. Show less. So that's okay. Then switch to the backend target sub and specify the following. So at this point you can just click on add. Oh, backend targets, sorry. So we need to add some backend targets. This is the other target, so you just need to click on these backend targets. Then target type is gonna be a backend pool. Backend target is gonna be AZ per that E1. So that's backend pool, backend target. We just need to click on the drop down since we have it here. Then the backend setting, let's see what's there. We need to add a new backend setting. Backend setting name is gonna be this. I'll just copy the name, Control C. Then backend protocol is gonna be HTTP. I'll click on okay, let me just see. Yeah, so this is the point where I need to create the backend setting. That add new is the second one. So backend setting name, I'm just gonna paste that in. HTTP1 backend protocol is gonna be HTTP on port 80. That's okay. Then additional settings, take the default. Hostname, take the default. So these are the additional settings. We're just gonna leave it as default. Hostname default, and then I'll click on add. Then from there, click next tags followed by next, review and create. So we just need to click once again add, then next tags, and then review and create. So I'll just click on wait for it. So we need to create. So after about some 4 minutes, my application gateway load balancer got deployed. So what we now need to do is just verify that the load balancer application gateway load balancer is working. So we need to navigate to our application gateway load balancer, then just copy its front-end IP address. So you can select that. This is our entry. Push that. Then go down to front-end IP configuration. Then this here is a p 20 dot, so I'll just copy that. Then we need to paste it, and let's see what result we'll get. So it will prompt you that the site is now secure because it's using HTTP. Click on continue to site, and you can see you're getting hello world from AZ. That's virtual machine 2, so that's under VNet 2. Then let's just open a new private tab, then paste in the same IP address, click enter, and we're still getting it from VM2. We should be getting something from VM3. Yeah, there we go, we have VM3 now. So guys, that has been it for this lab. Before we complete, just take the note here whereby it says targeting virtual machines on multiple virtual networks is not a common configuration, but it is meant to illustrate the point that application gateway is capable of targeting virtual machines on multiple virtual networks, as well as endpoints in other Azure regions or even outside of Azure, unlike Azure load balancers, which load balances across virtual machines in the same virtual network. So I hope you get the limitation difference. So as a way to clean up the resources here, it's just a matter of copying these two sets of code. So under section number 2 there, just copy that. I'm going to PowerShell once again. I'll type in CLS to clear the screen, then Control Shift V to paste in what I've copied, and I'll hit enter. So that should get the resource group name. Then this here should get the should now execute the cleanup process. So I'll just Control Shift V to paste it there, and once you hit return, that should do the work for you. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you in another lab environment, and I hope this has been an educative session for you. Thank you.